Well, everybody, this is going to be part one of my 1990s movie collection for 2025 edition. So, anyways, no time to waste. Let's begin. Starting with the 1990 all the way to 1995. So, anyways, let's begin now. And this is the movie that's based on the TV series DuckTales from 1987. January 14th, 1991. And of course, the wheels are extremely yellow on this tape. But hopefully, the rest of the tape still plays fine, so. Yep. This is. And of course, this is the 1990 version of The Witches that stars Angelica Houston. And which I rewatched it last Halloween. Excellent 1990 movie right here. August 26, 1999, and September 11th, 1999. aka printed 2 years before 9/11, aka the tragic days of our lives. I had this tape for a very long time, which I got this tape from Goodwill back in September of 2015. Both print dates are May 20th, 1991. And of course, this is an underrated. This is a great underrated Disney animated sequel to the first Rescuers movie, in my opinion. So, yep. And of course, this version has the Human Again version. So, yep. August 3rd, 2002 is the print date. Excellent Disney anime movie right here. And definitely one of my all time favorites as well. July 15th, 1993 is the print date. And of course, I had the tape since 2015, which I got from my middle school when I was in 7th grade. Had this tape since 2013, which I got from a yard sale. And this movie right here needed a rewatch before the holiday season arrives. September 14th, 1993. And this will be one of the last filmation movies. Hang on a second. Sorry, I have a little cough there. Just, but at least I'm feeling a little better there. But I'm good to go. So, anyways, let's continue. Where were we? Oh, yes. This is one of the last filmation media before the studio got shut down in 1989 due to the bankruptcies. So, yep. But at least the movie was complete in 1988. But was released in May of 1993 for some odd reason. Really good baseball movie right here from 1993 that has the late James Earl Jones, Tom Curry, Patrick Rena, Karen Allen, and Dennis Leary. May 30th, 1994. And printed the 22nd week of 1994. Okay. This movie right here needed a rewatch soon, in which I've rewatched it back in July of last year, but it needs a rewatch soon. So, yep. August 26th, 1993, and the 34th week of 1993. Had tapes since 2011, which I had for a very long time. December 23rd, 1993, so printed 2 days before Christmas of that year. And this copy doesn't have the Crush commercial at the beginning because this copy right here is version 2 of the 1993 VHS of this movie. Good movie right here that I've been watched since 2016, which I had the tape since January of 2016. October 6th, 1993, and the 40th week of 1993. Haven't seen this movie yet, unfortunately, but I will soon. December 16th, 1993. So printed 9 days before Christmas of that year. Guts tape brand new, factory sealed. January 20th, 1997. And printed the 5th week of 1997. A masterpiece right here from 1993. July 24th, 1994. And this is the copy with the preview for Gargoyles, the movie, because this copy is version 2, so, yep. I did rewatch this movie a couple weeks ago. Good emblemation movie right here. So, yep. February 9th, 1994. And the 6th week of 1994. Reprint from February 16th, 2001. Great 1993 movie that's based on the TV series Batman the Animated Series. April 12th, 1994. Really good Disney live action movie right here that I've rewatched last year. December 1st, 1997. I'll probably rewatch this movie soon, just before or after Christmas. October 12th, 1996. This is the very first Disney direct-to-video ever made, so yep. April 9th, 1994 is the print date. I I did watch this movie a couple years ago. Almost a couple years ago. Excellent 1994 movie right here. So, yep. I think the print date underneath the invisible ink print date is May 7th, 1995. Definitely one of my all-time favorite movies right here. And of course, I did rewatch all the Lion King movies the other day. January 3rd, 1995, so printed 2 days after New Year's of that year. And of course, I had the tapes since 2011, which I had for a very long time. Which I start collecting VHS tapes since 2011. Hang on. There. I don't want the tapes to fall down, so I fixed it. Had tapes since 2013. And of course, I switched to clamshells back then, so. Yep. Which I switched to clamshells and the tapes years ago, so. Yep. March 26, 1995, so printed 2 days after the VHS was released of this movie. Plan on rewatching this movie soon, so. Yep. October 27th, 1994. Once again, this movie right here needed a rewatch before Christmas. I'll probably rewatch this movie today. we'll see though, if the time comes or not. September 22nd, 1995. And the 38th week of 1995. Really good 1994 movie right here. So, yep. I think the print date underneath the visible ink label, or under the visible ink print date, is May 24th, 1995. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see, but I read it, so. But I've read it, so. Yep. Good 1994 movie right here. So, yep. And of course, I had the tape since August of 2015, which I got this tape from Goodwill. February 21st, 1995. And the 8th week of 1995. If anyone hates the Land Before Time movies, direct-to-video movies, I can handle your guys' opinion since I do like the direct-to-video sequels since childhood. And of course, the clamshell is in terrible condition, but that's alright. The rest of the tape still plays fine at least. November 11th, 1994. And the 45th week of 1994. Good movie right here that I've rewatched back in 2021. April 4th, 19... Sorry about that, folks. Anyways, the print date is April 4th, 1995. And this is Macaulay Culkin's last movie before he retires from child acting because of his age. So, yep. And of course, I'll plan on rewatching this movie sometime after Christmas. That way I'll have plenty of time to rewatch those movies during the winter break. Since we're not going to work outside until spring. Anyways, April 9th, 1995 is the print date. And of course, this copy does have the pre for a Goofy movie because this copy right here is version 1. And speaking of which, I'll be showing a Goofy movie after I show a couple of tapes I'm about to show. So, yep. Plan on rewatching this movie soon, so, yep. October 4th, 1996 is the print date. And the 39th week of 1996. Yeah, I read the week and year code right. Not making some mistakes there. Good movie right here that has Peter Boyle in it. June 2nd, 1995. And of course, I fixed a rating because this movie's rated PG, not rated G, so at least they didn't make any mistakes on those tapes more often. Speaking of which, here's a Goofy movie. And of course, I'll be rewatching this movie soon. Like, after Christmas sometime. But we'll see about that. And of course, I had the tape since childhood. Along with the other 2 tapes. Which I already showed Cinderella, the 1995 VHS. And Ferngully, the 1996 VHS. July 22nd, 1995 is the print date. And of course, I'll check to see what's recycled from. Of course, this tape right here is recycled from For Our Children the Concert, which is a VHS for Disney to protect AIDS, which For Our Children the Concert is a 1993 VHS. So, yep. Good movie right here. Of course, I had the tape since July of 2013. Which I had for a very long time. July 3rd, 1995, so printed the day before Independence Day that year. I have to hurry up because I have to get to work here soon. Plan on rewatching this movie soon, so yep. Which I've seen this movie before back in June of 2023. July 26, 1995. And of course, I had the tape since January of 2013. Plan on rewatching this movie soon. February 13th, 1996, so printed the day before Valentine's Day that year. I did rewatch this movie last Thursday, which is Thanksgiving night. Really good Disney anime movie right here. So, yep. December 30th, 1995. So printed the day before New Year's Eve and 2 days before New Year's Day of 1996. And this is the copy with the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo, because this copy right here is version 2. Plan on rewatching this movie soon, so yep. February 2nd, 1996. And the 6th week of 1996. And I'll be showing the rest of the tapes here, which after the video, I'll be getting dressed and head for work. So that's the plan. Once again, I had the tape since Christmas of 2011, along with the other tapes that I have for a very long time. January 2nd, 1996. January 8th, 1996. Sorry about that. And printed the second week of 1996. And I will be rewatching the first 2 Babe movies soon, which is before or after Christmas. We'll see though. I've seen bits and pieces of this film, but needs a rewatch entirely soon. October 30th, 1997, so printed the day before Halloween of that year. And printed the 44th week of 1997. Five more tapes for this video, and then we'll stop here for part 2. Definitely one of my all-time favorite movies right here. And this movie was celebrating the 30th anniversary to this movie that came out 30 years ago. December 28th, 1999. Printed 3 days before New Year's Eve of that year, and 4 days before the new millennium. Sorry about that. I have to clear my voice a bit. Like I said, printed 4 days before the new millennium, which is 2000, and 3 days after New Year's Eve, 1999. Once again, I had the tape for a very long time, which I had since 2011. which I had for a very long time. April 6, 1996, and the 14th week of 1996. And needs a rewatch soon before I rewatch the sequels, Welcome to the Jungle and the Next Level. And of course, there's going to be a new Jumanji movie, which will be released next year. So plan on rewatching that in the future. Okay. November 2nd, 1995. And the 44th week of 1995. Two more tapes for this video, and then we'll be finished. Really good 1995 movie right here, but it needs a rewatch one last time soon. February 2nd, 1996, so printed 2 days before Valentine's Day that year. And the 7th week of 1996. And this will be the last Emblem-mation movie ever made before it got defunct in 1997. Due to the success of Toy Story, aka the very first CGI computer animated movie ever made. So, yep. And here's the last tape for this video. Really good 1995. Oh, sorry about that. My camera's going out limits there. But like I said, this is a really good 1995 movie. Right here. March 15th, 1996. Well, everybody, there you have it for my part 1 of my 1990s movie collection for 2025 edition. Stay tuned for part 2 coming up tomorrow sometime. So, anyways, this is Superman Me 2002. See y'all later, and hope you have a fun rest of your Fridays. So, yep. This is Superman Me 2002. See y'all later. Goodbye.